Have you ever felt like your voice didn't matter until one moment gave you the courage to stand up and fight for what's yours? This is my story. My name is Grace, and at 36 years old, I discovered that the man I loved had been lying to me for years until I found the strength to confront him, reclaim my rights, and create a legacy of empowerment. I met Michael when I was 24. During a time in my life when I believed love could conquer anything. He was charming, ambitious, and seemed to have it all together. We fell in love quickly, and within 2 years, we were married. At first, everything felt perfect. He supported my dreams of starting a family, and together, we built a life filled with laughter, warmth, and hope. But as the years passed, cracks began to show in our relationship. Michael was often absent, claiming that his demanding job required him to travel frequently. I trusted him completely, never questioning his late nights or sudden disappearances. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. There were moments when I caught him lying small things, like saying he was at a work meeting when I later found out he wasn't. Each lie chipped away at my trust, but I told myself it was just stress or the pressures of his career. Then, one day, everything changed. Michael filed for divorce, leaving me devastated. In the weeks that followed, I struggled to process my grief. Friends and family tried to comfort me, but nothing could fill the void he left behind. It wasn't until I began sorting through our finances that I uncovered the truth, a truth that shattered everything I thought I knew about him. While reviewing our bank statements, I noticed discrepancies in the accounts. Certain transactions were labeled as miscellaneous expenses, but the amounts were unusually high. Suspicious. I dug deeper and uncovered evidence that Michael had been hiding money in offshore accounts, effectively cutting me out of our shared assets. It was as if the life we had shared was nothing more than a facade, a carefully constructed lie designed to deceive me. For days, I couldn't function. I felt like I had been robbed not just of my marriage, but of my dignity, my trust, and the life I thought we had built together. How could he do this to me? To us? The betrayal cut deeper than any pain I had ever known. But as the initial shock wore off, anger began to take its place. I realized that Michael had stolen more than my heart. He had stolen my future. Determined to uncover the full extent of his deception, I hired a private investigator. What they found was even worse than I imagined. Michael hadn't just hidden money. He had also forged documents to claim sole ownership of properties and investments that should have been ours. His actions had put countless people's jobs and livelihoods at risk. And now, after our separation, the company was facing bankruptcy. I knew I had to act. While I couldn't undo the damage Michael had caused, I could use the evidence I had gathered to make things right for myself and for others. I filed a lawsuit against him, accusing him of fraud, financial abuse, and manipulation. The case gained media attention, and soon, stories of other women who had suffered at his hands began to surface. One by one, they came forward, sharing their experiences of betrayal, exploitation, and injustice. One of these women was Sarah, a former colleague of Michael's. She revealed that he had stolen her ideas and sold them to clients without giving her credit or compensation. Another woman, Rachel, described how Michael had convinced her to co-sign loans, only to disappear when the payments became due. Their stories resonated deeply with me, reminding me of my own struggles with him and the silent suffering I had endured. As the trial unfolded, I watched Michael's empire crumble. His business partners turned against him, his reputation was destroyed, and he was left with nothing. In the end, the court ruled in my favor, ordering Michael to pay restitution for the damages he had caused. I used the recovered funds to rebuild my life and start anew. But I didn't stop there. Determined to prevent others from falling victim to similar schemes, I founded an organization dedicated to raising awareness about financial abuse and gender inequality. I called it Empower Her, a name that reflected my journey of reclaiming my power and empowering others to protect themselves. Through the organization, I provided resources, counseling, and legal assistance to women navigating similar situations. I also launched educational programs to teach financial literacy and self-advocacy, ensuring that women had the tools they needed to thrive independently. One of the women I helped was Emily, a single mother whose ex-husband had drained their joint savings account, leaving her and her children homeless. When she came to us, she was broken and hopeless, unsure of how to rebuild her life. Together, we worked to secure housing, file legal claims against her ex-husband, and create a plan for financial independence. Watching her regain her confidence and take control of her future reminded me of my own journey and the strength I had discovered within myself. And another woman, Lisa, shared a story eerily similar to mine. Her husband had also hidden assets during their divorce, leaving her financially destitute. When she learned the truth, she felt like her world had collapsed. But through Empower Her, she found a community of women who understood her pain and offered support. Together, we helped her navigate the legal system, recover her stolen assets, and start anew. As the organization grew, so did my sense of purpose. I realized that Michael's betrayal, while devastating, had given me a gift, the opportunity to help others heal and rebuild their lives. By turning my pain into action, I was able to honor the parts of my relationship with him that mattered most. The lessons I learned about resilience, forgiveness, and the importance of standing up for what's right. But building Empower Her wasn't without its challenges. There were moments when I questioned whether I was strong enough to carry the weight of so many stories, so much pain. There were times when the memories of Michael's lies threatened to overwhelm me, pulling me back into the darkness. But I reminded myself of why I started this journey: to create a better future, not just for myself, but for others. Through the women I met, I discovered something profound. Healing isn't a linear process. It's messy, unpredictable, and often painful. But it's also transformative. By sharing our stories, supporting one another, and taking steps toward change, we can reclaim our power and rewrite our narratives. That realization became the foundation of Empower Her, not just as an organization, but as a movement. Looking back, I realized that Michael didn't just leave me a legacy of pain, he gave me the tools to transform it into something meaningful. His actions forced me to confront truths I might otherwise have avoided, pushing me to grow in ways I never imagined. And while I'll never fully understand why he chose to live the way he did, I've come to accept that his choices don't define me. Instead, they've shaped me into the person I am today, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to make a difference. Through Empower Her, I've learned that power isn't about control or revenge, it's about creating opportunities for others to thrive. It's about using your pain to fuel positive change, to lift others up when they feel like they can't stand on their own. And it's about recognizing that, no matter how broken you feel, you have the ability to rebuild not just your life, but the lives of those around you. If you're watching this and feeling betrayed, remember, your pain doesn't have to define you. You have the power to turn it into purpose, to create something beautiful out of something broken. If this story resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe for more inspiring stories, and let's rewrite our legacies together.